Hey guys, it's Christopher Tom here, and today I want to talk about how Pyrocynical's channel evolved and stayed relevant. You might remember one of his contemporaries, Leafy is here, whose channel grew stratospherically before it came crashing down. Leafy's format was to take a video that was considered cringy, strange, or bizarre, and react to it, adding nothing but his commentary over unrelated gameplay footage. Pyrocynical adopted the same format, but with his own sense of humor and a far less aggressive tone than Leafy. 2 years later, Leafy's channel is completely dead, but Pyrocynical is still growing consistently. So how did Pyro's channel stay alive? In this video, I aim to analyze how Pyro's videos have changed throughout the years, while still retaining his core audience, as well as what we can learn from this. To understand how his channel has evolved throughout the years, we have to go back to the first phase of his channel, montage parodies. Yes, these days we remember them as just a dead fad, but in 2014 they were pretty popular. Pyro quickly gained traction with these videos, often making it to the top of the montage parody subreddit. This is important to understanding the evolution of his channel because it was this phase of content that earned him his initial subscriber base that would give him a platform to test different types of content later on. On August 16, 2015, Pyro decided to test the waters and uploaded Counter-Strike Russian Offensive. It was a gaming video, but it also had MLG edits incorporated into it. This is very important because by incorporating certain elements of his past content, Pyro was able to ease his audience into the newer content. Although the reception was mostly positive, he still ended up alienating a faction of his fan base. Pyro had to address it in a video called What's Happened, where he responded to criticism and talked about why he changed the style of his content.
Now, a lot of you are probably wondering why I've changed content, why have I gone from montage parodies to making gaming videos? Now, personally for me, I don't particularly enjoy making montage parodies anymore. I don't really get that kick when I make them.
He started off making commentaries on general topics, and then adapted Leafy's style of taking videos and poking fun at them in a reaction commentary format. He would still make gaming videos, but the main form of content had shifted to reaction commentaries. Although this format would soon become oversaturated in 2016, in 2015 the idea of providing unrelated commentary over gameplay footage was still pretty novel to people. At this time, Leafy only had between 400 and 500,000 subscribers, but Pyro was quick to recognize that the format worked at the time. Pyro then appropriated Leafy's format, but with his own sense of humor and editing style that was enough to set him apart, although people often mentioned them in the same breath. Part of why he was able to do this is because he had already built a solid fanbase by making montage parodies. If he had started off by making this content, he likely would not have gained as much traction because of the SEO challenges that this form of content would face. By already having an established audience, Pyro was able to sidestep this problem. Imagine being a small channel and uploading a video just called Stop. You won't be able to get many views on it because it doesn't have any keywords that people are already searching for, so the algorithm won't recommend it. But because he already had hundreds of thousands of subscribers, he had an advantage that many others didn't, and was able to upload this content and get a good amount of views. These reaction commentaries would often have over-the-top all-caps titles, and like Leafy, would feature videos that were considered cringy. He would do this content for a little while, and after several months the titles slowly became less all-caps and over-the-top. And although the content remained reaction-based, the tone and subjects of the videos slowly changed. One of the criticisms that you could aim at Pyro's content when he was in the beginning phase of reaction commentaries is that he went after low-hanging fruit. He made it very clear to his audience to not harass the people he made videos about, but the subjects he chose included small, unknown channels and in some cases, children. This was no longer the case, for the most part anyway. Even the video he made reacting to one of Matty B's music videos was more about the absurdity of the music video and less about how cringy he was. And then he made an important change on his channel. The decision to switch from gameplay footage to showing his face and speaking to the camera. I believe this is single-handedly the most significant change he has made to his channel as well as the best. Gameplay commentaries were no longer novel like they were only a year ago. The market had become so saturated at that point, and something needed to change to keep viewers engaged. Additionally, sticking to putting gameplay footage over his commentary restricted the way he could express himself, because in a gameplay commentary he can only use his voice. And although he can still be expressive in that format, I think we can all agree that being able to see him on camera is a big step up in terms of expression.
The ending of Avengers Infinity War explained. Well, that's simple. They actually...
All the characters traveled to the Peter Griffin household. Doctor Strange uses his world-bending powers to make Joe walk again.
Around this time, he never really stopped making videos in the reaction format, but the style of his commentary videos was slowly starting to pivot from reactions to commentary on trending topics. Pyro's content continued to evolve, and he introduced a new series called ASOT, short for a series of tubes, where he would comedically tackle several trending topics in one video. This was a good idea since, let's be honest, a lot of these topics don't warrant 10-minute videos. He could make 10-minute videos about them, but they'd have to be unnecessarily padded and filled with fluff just to make sure the video hits a certain length, and nobody wants that. And later on, Pyro introduced the video essays. One day, Pyro uploaded an incredibly well-made video that was an hour and 21 minutes long called Petscop, the best game you've never played. It was a very in-depth and analytical type of video, which Pyro would then create more of in the future. So now that we know how Pyro was able to evolve and stay relevant, what can we learn from that? One important thing is to listen to audience feedback. Pyrocynical is the perfect example of somebody who has found the perfect balance between what he personally wants to make and what the audience wants to see. One of the criticisms that people brought up regarding my video on Bobby Burns' shift in content is that he can make whatever he wants and he doesn't owe me anything. And those are both true statements. Nobody owes their audience anything. However, you also have to keep in mind that this freedom goes both ways. YouTubers are free to make whatever they want, but their audience is also free to criticize it or just stop watching altogether. And if you want to be a full-time YouTuber, you can't just disregard the audience and make whatever you want to make. Pyro understands this and acknowledges criticism of his content, often in a polite and respectable manner. And I just want to say that personally, this is so refreshing to see. There are too many YouTubers out there, and not just YouTubers, artists in general, who cannot take criticism. They see criticism and frame it as hate. You could fairly critique somebody and they'll go, "Why are you being such a hater?" Pyro is able to take a step back and honestly assess how his videos are being received. Instead of doubling down on content that didn't resonate with his audience that much, Pyro always addressed the feedback in a genuine, straightforward manner. Through his ability to take an unbiased look at how his content was performing, Pyro was able to properly adapt the channel to fit his audience's needs, while still being able to produce enough content to satisfy the YouTube algorithm. Pyro is also not afraid to try different types of content out. One of the main advice people give regarding YouTube channel growth is to stick to a particular niche. And although this works, it can lead to the YouTuber feeling boxed in and not allowed to try new things. Because the appeal of Pyro's content was his personality, however, his audience was receptive to his gaming content and analysis content, and Pyro was able to successfully branch out. In fact, he still tries out different types of videos here and there. This willingness to experiment has kept his channel fresh and interesting to his audience. Overall, Pyro is in tune with his audience, but also with himself and the content he wants to make. It's this balance that has allowed his channel to stay relevant, and regardless of your opinion on Pyro or his content, there's definitely a lot that you can learn from him. That's about it for this video, hope you liked it. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.